All right, let's talk about something that drives plastics manufacturers absolutely nuts. You know what I'm talking about? Those amazing, bright, neon colors. Why do they look so good in the lab, but then fail when it really counts? Today, we're diving into the science of shade matching and figuring out why these vibrant shades are, well, some of the most rejected colors out there. Let's get into it. Yeah, this quote, it just hits home, doesn't it? Perfect in the lab, dull in production. It's the story of every color matcher's nightmare. You nail that brilliant, eye-popping color. The sample gets signed off, everyone's pumped, and then the first production run comes out looking flat, lifeless, or just completely wrong. It's so frustrating. So what's really going on here? Why does this keep happening? So that's the big question, right? Why do the brightest colors fail? And look, it's not just bad luck. It's not a one-off faulty batch of pigment. There's real, predictable science at play here. And that's actually good news. Because if we can understand why these vibrant shades are so darn fragile, we can figure out how to work with them. So we're going to break it all down. The what, the why, and of course, how you can finally get it right. Okay, so let's get into the heart of the bright color dilemma. It's kind of ironic, really. The very thing that makes you want to use these colors, that incredible pop, that intensity, is also its Achilles heel. It's their greatest strength and their biggest weakness, all rolled into one. The risk is literally baked into the chemistry of the pigments that make these shades so special. So what are the main culprits? Well, there are three big ones that'll get your parts rejected in a heartbeat. First, you've got heat. The intense heat from the molding process can literally cook the life right out of the color. Then there's sunlight. It just chews away at the pigment, causing it to fade out. And last but not least, simple aging can cause the shade to shift over time. All of these problems point back to one thing. The pigments themselves are just not that stable. Now, to really crack this case, we have to get specific. See, we throw the word bright around a lot, but in the world of pigments, there is a massive difference between a bright and a neon color. They are not the same thing at all. And honestly, understanding this distinction is the key to solving the whole puzzle. Okay, check this out. This really breaks it down. On one side, you have your regular bright shades. Think of a classic, clean, bright red. These are made from pretty standard, pretty tough organic pigments. But then you have the neon shades, and these guys are a whole different animal. They use what are called fluorescent pigments. What they do is actually absorb invisible light, UV light, and then shoot it back out as visible light. That's what gives them that insane glow. It's like they're making their own light. But, and it's a big but, that cool trick comes at a price. They are way, way more sensitive. So yeah, let's talk a little more about these fluorescent pigments. They really are the secret sauce, the magic ingredient that gives you that jaw-dropping neon effect. But they're the classic double-edged sword, right? They look incredible, but they're chemically, well, they're fragile. So what does that mean for you? It means they're awesome for indoor stuff, things that aren't going to get beat up. But for anything that has to live outside and survive the elements, forget about it. It's just not what they're built for. All right, so we've identified our victim, the fragile fluorescent pigment. Now let's meet the villains of our story, public enemies number 1 and 2, heat and light. These are the two forces of nature that will absolutely wreck your perfect color if you're not ready for them. You have to anticipate them and control them. Then memorize it, 200 degrees Celsius. When you're working with neons, this is the absolute point of no return. Think of it like a cliff. You can go right up to the edge, but the second you go over, it's too late. Above this temperature, you are literally killing the pigment. The glow is gone, the color goes dull, and there is no coming back from it. It's a permanent change. And this leads us to a really simple, practical rule. Because of that 200-degree speed limit, you have to match your pigment to your plastic. Neons play really nicely with low-temperature polymers, things like polypropylene and polyethylene. They're totally safe there. But if you try to shove them into a high-temperature material like ABS or nylon, you are just setting yourself up for failure. Guaranteed. It's disaster. Okay, on to the other big enemy, light. You ever get that dreaded call from a customer saying, hey, this color faded in a month? Well, it almost always comes down to one of these three reasons. 1, UV exposure. The sun is just brutal, and it literally tears apart the pigment structure. 2, you might be using a cheap, low-grade pigment that just wasn't made to last. And 3, and this one is huge, you skipped the UV stabilizer. That's like sending your plastic part to the beach without any sunscreen. All right, enough doom and gloom. We've talked a lot about the problems, so now let's talk about the solutions. How do we actually master these colors and get that perfect match every single time? This next part is your toolkit, your guide to getting these tricky shades right. This chart right here is basically your cheat sheet for picking the right plastic. It's super clear. Polypropylene, or PP, low risk. It's your best bet for brights and neons. Polyethylene, PE, it's acceptable, pretty good for low temp stuff. But then you get to ABS and nylon, and you're in the danger zone. The processing temps are just too high, and your chances of getting a dull color are huge. Bottom line, start with the right material. So even if you pick the right plastic, you still gotta dial in that perfect shade. Let's do a little troubleshooting. So what if your shade is way too strong? Easy. Just back off the pigment a little, or maybe add a touch of white or filler to tone it down. Shade's too dull? Okay, you might need to bump up the pigment, but don't go crazy with the mixing, because that can actually kill the color. And what if the color just looks muddy? You're probably using too many different pigments. Keep it simple. A cleaner formula with fewer ingredients will almost always give you a cleaner, brighter color. Okay, let's wrap this up by looking at the things you should absolutely not do. Think of this as your official checklist for guaranteed color failure. I'm going to tell you how to mess it up so you can do the exact opposite and get it perfect. Mistake number 1. This is the big one, the cardinal sin, treating a neon pigment like it's just any other color. It's not. If you take away just one thing today, let it be this. Neons are special. They have their own set of rules. You can't just throw them in the machine with your standard settings and hope for the best. You have to respect their unique chemistry. And mistake number 2, ignoring that critical heat limit. Remember that 200-degree number? It's not a suggestion. It's a hard line. You have to watch your processing temps like a hawk. The second you go over that line, you've gone over the cliff. The color is toast, and there's no way to bring it back. Mistake number 3. This should be a no-brainer right now. Using neon colors for outdoor products. Just don't. These pigments have terrible resistance to sunlight. They are indoor creatures. Putting them outside is like using a screwdriver to hammer a nail. It's just the wrong tool for the job. Your beautiful color will fade, and trust me, it's gonna fade fast. And the final mistake, skipping the UV protection. This goes for any bright color that might see the sun, not just neons. Think about it. A UV stabilizer is basically sunscreen for your plastic. It's not an optional extra. It's 100% necessary. It protects the color, absorbs that nasty UV radiation, and keeps your product looking great for years. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought to chew on. The next time you have a bright color fail, stop and ask yourself, is it really the color's fault, or is it the process? Before you blame the pigment, look at everything else. Did you pick the right plastic? Did you watch your heat? Did you think about where this product is actually going to live? Because 9 times out of 10, the color didn't fail. The process did. And that's something you have complete control over. Thanks for joining me.
Beyond brightness, mastering flawless effect pigment. Level 10 clear. The foundational variables are secured. Bright and neon, fluorescent reality, heat and light impact, fade control, application selection. You have understood many concepts from basics to advanced color matching, but the real game is about to begin. Tomorrow in day 11 we will enter a new level, the world of effect pigment, where not just a color but shine, reflection and overall appearance also matter. You will learn how pearl, metallic, silver and gold set actually behave. Microscopic flex size, direct microscopic brilliance. Flex size completely change the final look to the exact same color base. Flow direction alters the visual geometry of the shade. How flow direction make the ideal shade look completely different depending on the viewing angle. This is the line between doing a job and mastering a craft. The pro level shade deploy, focus, shine, reflect and overall appearance. Work in 3D depth flop. Prepare to enter the next level tomorrow. Don't miss day 11. If you are ready to involve into the shade deployer, comment right now day 11 ready. Thank you.